Thomas, good afternoon. It's quite loud. How excited are you to be playing back in Europe after the UEFA Europa Conference League title? How much excitement is there in the squad?
So good afternoon, all of you. The excitement is big because we all remember last year how good tournament was it, and we still remember for the final in Prague, and we are happy to go again. So we are excited. We are happy that it's starting tomorrow, and we are for Europa League.
You reached the semi-finals of the Europa League 2 seasons ago. Of course, you went one step further in the Conference League last season. Is this a competition that early on the players are targeting this season?
It's honestly it's one of the targets, but especially after last season and season before when we were in the semi-final. So we all enjoyed both 2 years. We are happy that we are for the first time in Europe football. And now, of course, it's one of our biggest targets to be successful in this competition.
Thanks, Thomas.
Ian Abrahams, TalkSport.
Hi, Thomas. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. I mean, third year in a row, West Ham are in Europe, which has never happened before for this football club. How much can you draw on the experiences of the last 2 years as you try and once again and win a European trophy?
Yes, I'm happy that I'm part of this. That is first in a row, and we just want to add another year because we are enjoying this Europe footballs, because we have many more games. We can play like every Thursday, Sunday, and people love it. So especially like players, we want to go from the first game. The first game is tomorrow, and we want to be all ready for the first one.
You mentioned that Thursday, Sunday playing. A lot of teams have struggled with that over the years, but in the last 2 years it seems that West Ham have coped pretty well with that.
Yes, everyone telling something about this, but I think that if the players and the coaches are strong enough, they can deal it, and they can take advantage from to play Thursday and Sunday, because you don't have many trainings, but the biggest training is the game, and you play as many games as you can. So that's the biggest advantage, and so we show it last 2-3 years that we can handle both on the both ways, and I just hope that we will handle it this season as well.
Last one from me. New players to play with in midfield. No Declan Rice anymore for you. You must be missing him greatly. But tell us about the partnerships with Alvarez and Ward-Prowse, and Mohamed Kudus is coming as well.
Yes, with Declan I played 3.5 years since I came, but it's football, and now it's change. Now we have many new signings, like Lucas Paqueta is here already 1 year, I think, and now we have James, Alvarez, you said, new signing Kudus as well. So many new players, and I think also we have new coaching staff, so we are all together now, and I think that on the training sessions it looked very good. We also showed in first games in Premier League, so I just hope that we transfer for the Europe League as well, and me as a midfielder in the middle, I trust myself and the teammates around me.
Okay, Jordan Davies, The Sun.
Hi, Thomas. Declan's left, but the squad has been strengthened. You've started the season very well. In your time here, is this the strongest that you've felt this squad is going into a season?
Honestly, I feel that this squad is maybe the stronger that it was even before. Like it's a different type of players that it was a few years ago, but everything is different. Some has better quality, some has different character, but we have all of these individuals put together and do a great squad. And I think that now with the quality of the players and mentality is one of the best I've been here. And we just have to show on the pitch and be successful. And if we were successful, we can agree after that. Now we can just think about it.
And you've now got a European winners medal. I'm guessing somewhere at home. Do you feel different? Do you feel like a different player now? Because and winning trophies, winning medals, it can sometimes make you feel like a better player, make you feel different.
It's true that I think it's same as if you win something or if you have many games somewhere, you are more experienced, and these experiences are very important because especially when the toughest time is coming, you can show it, you can prove that. What you achieve, what you, for example, won, what you have played already. So I think that people who are here, they can bring experience even from, for example, international or from everywhere they went. So I think that this can help us.
And just finally, Thomas, you've got into the last two European competitions, maybe as the underdogs, people not expecting you to get as far as you have. Do you think that's now changed? Do you think now people expect West Ham to get far, to get to finals and win trophies?
I think that's it a little bit different, but first season in Europa League we were underdog, but last season in Conference League we were like favorite from after the group suddenly when we won every game in the group. So and now it's very similar that after we won the trophy, now we are probably one of the favorites of our group, and also for the next games we hope that we will go through, and after that we will see. But now everyone will think of us that we won the trophy, so we probably will win again. So it's a little bit different, but we all take it.
Mike Walters, The Mirror.
Hi, Thomas. What do you know about Bačka Topola? Because a lot of West Ham fans would have had to look it up on a map and find out who they are, but they're top of the Serbian league. They're going to be dangerous, aren't they?
Yes, it's Serbian league. Maybe I know more than UK guys from the Europe, but we watch them in clips as every team, and we have prepared a lot. So we know how they played last games, what the shape they like, and also we saw individual players. So we prepared very well. But another way we want to show our style as well. So we know that they are top of the league, so they are right to be in the group. But I believe that we show better quality tomorrow.
West Ham have lost in Europe before against so-called unknown teams, one from Romania in particular. Is complacency a danger, or do you think that fairly recent experience of going out of Europe early will make it inevitable that you are right on the front foot and right on it tomorrow?
Yeah, like this loss, what we are telling, it's like a few years ago, and I don't think so that will be like impact, because now we all think how we played in Europe last 2 years, and we want to feel same way as we did for last 2 years.
Dom Smith, Evening Standard.
Hi Thomas, just one question from me. Obviously Europa Conference League winners from last season, but the season before, getting to the semi-finals of the Europa League, the way that you went out in particular to Eintracht Frankfurt, kind of such a gutting semi-final defeat, does that serve as motivation going into another Europa League campaign?
Yes, sure, because this was the best motivation to go as far as possible in the Conference League last year. And now we can play Europa League again after 3 years. So it's we were all gutted that we didn't go to the final, but now we have a new chance to show. So we want to start from the first game because possibility of the playoffs or another games are very far. Now it's first game of the group stage, so we want to concentrate for first game, for first win, and after we want to be concentrating for every game who is coming.
Okay, thank you very much.
Kieran Gill, Daily Mail. You okay?
I quite like what you say, how you studied the shape and you've studied individual players of their team. Is that with the manager? Does he sit down and he's got loads of graphics and footage from them? And how much preparation do you put into that side of things for these sort of games?
Yes, we have manager, we have coaching staff, so we have many members now, and also we have guys who send individually us the clips about opponent. So we want to be ready for every game, if it's Premier League, Europe or Cup. So we want to be ready because as you ask if it's what is target this season, we want to be successful where is possible. So we went to the presentation room, and last 2 days we watched the Serbian team.
Lola Hernandez, Fox Sports.
Hi, hello, Thomas. Edson Alvarez is suspended for cannot play tomorrow. How the important is for the team? Thank you.
I realized that he suspended 2-3 days ago. So he told us that he can't play, but this is as we spoke at the beginning, that our squad is very big and very strengthful. So if we have one miss or even more misses, so I think that we can be on the same level still. He showed that he's a good player. I don't know if he played 2 or 3 games, but we have now very same players on the same level, like around 20 players. So I believe that we show maximum even if we have more than one miss.
Shane Thomas, The Athletic.
Thomas, you've been at this club for 3.5 years now. So would you consider yourself to be one of the leaders in the squad?
I like to be a leader. Like I was in my former team, I am in international games in Czech Republic, and I want to be even leader here. Even when I am now quite long, I want to be from the beginning to help the players on and off the pitch. By talking with them or shouting on the pitch to help them. But as the years going, I am here longer and longer. It's my place can be even higher. So I think that my behavior is same as I came. I want to be helpful, but. If you can speak about leader, it's not just that you are here that long, because you have to be helpful to the team, and I hope that I am, but more the players can speak about it.
For sure. Last month, Jared Bowen said David Moyes deserves a lot more credit for what he's achieved at this club. Do you also agree that the manager deserves a lot more credit for what he's achieved here?
Yes, Jared is a great player, and he achieved a lot. He came like 2 days after me, and so we are here together since start. And he he scored the winning goal in the finals, so he's on the fire, and I just hope that he will still be many games in the future on that same level, because how he is important for the club is incredible. So I'm happy for him.
I appreciate your answer. I think you misheard my question. It was, do you think the manager deserves a lot more credit for what he's... Yeah, the manager. But it's a great answer, James.
I thought that you mean Jared, but if it's about manager, so everyone can see stats, because since he came, we had to be safe in the league, and we did it. And another 3 years we were successful as in the these 3 years we can show that 3 times we were qualified in Europe. So the manager should get be maybe more get respect that he's getting, because just the stats can show us how good for us he is. So I just can agree.
You played alongside Lucas Paquetá for a year now. What makes him so special, in your opinion?
Lucas is a great player. He can show us what skills he can do it, and the special is about him that no one know what he's capable of doing. Even the teammates sometimes doesn't know. But he's a very special talent, and he can show, especially to the offensive players or some good assist. He can show incredible things what we need.
And last question for me, Thomas. In terms of when you and your teammates won the Conference League, how did you celebrate with your family?
When we won. I celebrate them with them just suddenly on the pitch, because it was in Prague in my home. So I had maybe 10, 15 players, 15 members of the family on the pitch. So I was singing with them. I was hugging each other. So it was perfect night. And after I got 3 weeks off. So I spent lots of the time with them, especially with my girls, and also with wider family. We celebrated because I invited everyone I like, and we all enjoyed it.
Good afternoon, David. Earlier on I was at training. It did look like you've got your whole squad available for tomorrow's game, but can you just confirm if you've got any injuries?
No, we've got everybody available, everybody fit and ready to play, so looking forward to it.
We believe Edson Alvarez is suspended for tomorrow's match.
Correct, that's right.
I just wanted to ask, he obviously came off against Man City. I think the fans were very worried, but of course he has been training today. I just wondered, how big a boost is it that he hasn't suffered anything serious, given just how late he came back from America?
I don't think MD thought he had any injury. I think he's still getting used to the 90 minutes in the Premier League and what's entailed in it. He's probably had that in a few games where he's been fatigued late on, and he was at the weekend, but he also had got booked early in the game, which also was on my mind as well, that I had to be careful of it. So but he's fine. He's fit and healthy and all well.
We saw Mohamed Kudus out there training today. He hasn't yet made his first West Ham start. What have you seen from him in training? I mean, what have you made of his performances in training so far?
I like what I see. I think that he looks a really good player, and from what we've seen before, that's why we bought him. And hopefully he'll get an opportunity to show what he can do over the next few weeks. But we've got to give some of them time to settle in. Thankfully, Edson and James Ward-Prowse have settled in really, really quickly. And Mo's just been a little bit late right at the end of the window, really, when we got Mo in. So we've got to try and give him a little bit of time. Don't expect too much from him too soon.
Thomas was just in here and he said he feels that West Ham, given the Europa Conference League win last season, are now thought of as one of the favourites to win the Europa League this season. What are your thoughts on that?
I think you need to look at the teams in the Europa League. I think that I think the European competitions have got tougher. I think so many teams who are regular Champions League teams have found themselves in the Europa League, and quite a lot of teams who are in the Europa League have found themselves in the Conference League. So I think the strength of the European football is really, really strong. I think that obviously the Champions League is always the one you want to be recognised for, but I think it's great that we've got the Europa League. We're thrilled that we're in it again, 2 years out of 3 now, and I do believe that the competition's got tougher than when we were in it 2 years ago.
Thanks, David.
Hi, David. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Just moving on from that. I mean, obviously you've got Liverpool, Brighton, Rangers in this competition. It's not going to be as easy as 2 years ago where you got to the semi-final. Not that was particularly easy.
No, I agree. I think as I said earlier, the European competitions, I believe, have got tougher. You know, for example, to have Liverpool and Brighton out the Premier League in a competition you're in, and you can see the form that Brighton are in and the history what Liverpool have had in European football over many years. It gives you, just talking about the British teams, never mind the teams what are from other countries. And you've also got to remember that we're waiting on whoever finishes third in the group for the Champions League drops back into this competition as well. So, I mean, in any way to be talking about who could be favourite, etc., is not really worthwhile, because until we see the teams who drop down and the teams who qualify, it's very, very difficult to work out.
Over the past 2 years, you've taken Europe, in inverted commas, very seriously. You played strong teams, you won every single game to make sure you top your group, and you miss out on that qualifying tie. This week you play 3 games in a week. Do you prioritise the game tomorrow, or do you prioritise Liverpool, or do you prioritise Lincoln, or how do you think about how you're going to get the makeup of your team right for all 3 games?
Well, the first and foremost will always be the Premier League, will always be the most important thing, to try and make sure that you're always a Premier League club, because that's roughly where most of the money is comes from. But Europe's been so good, and Europe is probably, if I was going to put it in financial terms, is the most important competition after the Premier League, really. How well you can do in Europe, how far you can go. So from that point of view, obviously we want to target both. So the balance of that, being a club that plays on a Thursday and a Sunday, probably is never easy, the Thursday-Sunday games, for whatever reason. But over the last 2 seasons we've done it quite well. You know, a final and a semi-final the year before that. So we'll try and get the balance right. Always the most important game's the next one in my eyes. You're always trying to win the next game. The next game's on Thursday night, and we'll try and do that.
Finally, from me, we saw last night after Newcastle's draw in Milan, which on paper looks a great result, and yet the manager Eddie Howe has to come in and defend the way his team played because people thought they were lucky and they weren't attacking enough. Firstly, does that happen to you? And secondly, do you actually care what we think about how your team plays?
Yeah, we do care. We want our teams to be exciting. We want them to be, to play well. But ultimately, we want to win and we want to get good results. And I think it would be more naive of MD who thought that result that Newcastle got at Milan was a bad one. I would say that the people who were talking in those terms were the ones who had less understanding of the game.
Hi, David. Last year, the Conference League was used really as a momentum builder because the league wasn't going as well. You've started the league very well this year. Do you think you can almost enjoy this group stage a bit more because you're not having to win games to prove and to kind of counter the poor league form?
Yeah, I get the point. If you remember last year, we had qualifiers last year. You have to remember we had a qualifier before we could even get into the group stage. So that in itself. And those games we were winning, which kept us just feeling okay. We weren't getting too low because of some of the Premier League results. But we've got off to a great start. We've got a squad who's fully fit. All the players looking to go. I want to keep them all challenging each other, pushing each other for the positions. So I think it'll be a great opportunity for a few of the players to show exactly what they can do. And we're going to try and compete again and go for it again if we can. We want to be in Europe again. To be in a semi-final and a final 2 years in a row is a big thing in Europe. And I'm going to attempt to try and do it again if we can do.
And you've got a fully fit squad, as you said. Has it been quite a shock to have that, just because last season was such a tough start with injuries, and to how are you going to balance this squad? Is it probably going to be a lot harder than last season because you have to think about how you do that?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think we've probably got more players of a certain quality. Where we're saying we've got more competition for places. But it's great that everybody's fit, because it means that everybody's looking forward to playing. They have to show what they can do. Their opportunities will come for them in games, and no, we're going to need it, because we're in a really tough set of games again. And I know I probably said that in the first group of games, but as you know, when you've got Man City and Liverpool back to back Saturdays or whatever days it is, that makes that a really tough set of fixtures. So we want to play well. We want to try and get off to a good start in the group if we can. But we certainly won't be taking anything for granted, and we won't be seeing it anything other than a really tough fixture, and one that we're going to have to play well to win.
Have you done anything differently in this pre-season, just in terms of medically keeping players fit, or was last year just a bit of a freak kind of year with injuries?
Well, I think the opening part of the season, I actually think if you looked at our injury record over probably 3 years, it's been fantastic. But the start of last season was different. Start of last season, we didn't get. Kurt was injured. We lost Agard in the friendly at Rangers. That bad weather we're talking about. We lost it. Agard at Rangers. We were really short. We had Doss wasn't quite ready at the time, and Issa was looking to leave. So we had a real problem with central defenders at the time, and it certainly affected us at the start of last season.
Hi, David. Tomáš Souček was saying in here a few minutes ago that he thinks this is arguably the strongest squad that West Ham have had in his time at the club, and therefore in your time as well.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of I think it was Eric Torsfett who said when Tottenham sold Gareth Bale, he said we've sold Elvis but signed the Beatles with the 5 or 6 players they brought in. I'm not suggesting there's a direct comparison after you've lost Declan, who's a hell of a player, but
Yeah.
in the long term, do you think he might be right? And secondly, is Europe a very good stage for the players who've come in to show they are collectively the equal of sort of Declan, if you like, in value?
Well, let's not forget what Declan gave us last year in winning a final. That's the thing that you mustn't take away. He was part of a team which was hugely successful. He was the captain of the team as well, so scored some amazing goals in Europe for Declan last year. Some of the goals were brilliant. So but I think we've tried to maybe build a stronger whole round group. I think, as I mentioned to there earlier, I think the competition's good. I think we've got competition for places. We want to keep that strong. The players are in a confident frame of mind at the moment. We want to keep that going as well, which comes from playing well in victories. And we're looking forward to trying to have more of the ball. That's what we're planning to do, try and get more of the ball in the games. But while we can't, then we're going to try and make sure that we're really hard to beat and continue trying to win games, no matter by hook or by crook how that happens.
And just secondly for me, I think you said after the Chelsea game that you regard yourself as having 2 number ones now with Fabianski and Areola. Last season, Areola played in Europe. Is it the plan to give Fab a go tomorrow night to keep his hand in?
Lucas Fabianski will play tomorrow night, and Lucas has been a brilliant goalkeeper, and as I said at the time, has done very little wrong to be out the side. But we felt that I had to make a decision. I brought Fons here a while ago to sort of said that he would eventually move in front of Lucas. Lucas' form has been so good for the last few years. It's been hard to do that, but we made that decision, and that's it. So Lucas, will be in goal tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Hi David. Back to Topola, I'll confess I don't know too much about them, but as the opposing manager, does that make it more difficult for you guys when you're going up against someone that's lesser known than a Olympiacos or a Florida?
Yeah, it does to an extent, because it's actually a bit harder to get footage off them and a bit harder to get levels of games which you could maybe compare and give yourself an idea of the standard. But look, they're a side who've had a very good record. I think they've done well at the start of this season as well, and we'll try and get as much information as we possibly can and give the players that, which we have done. But you're right in saying that it's not an easy thing to do, is to get all the information on a team from Serbia. But our job to do so, and we're looking forward to playing them and looking forward to going there as well.
I was going to say, because I think Thomas mentioned that the sort of players are getting sent individual footage to study. It's almost like giving them homework so that there's no surprises. Is Is that normal? Is that?
Yeah, it's normal for us. We try to. I think it's different when you're playing. No, we play Liverpool at the weekend. Of course, you know most of the Liverpool team, but I think when you're playing teams from Europe who maybe you're not seeing the players, you maybe don't know them. You don't know them maybe from international games or etc. I think we're trying to give the players as much information and detail on them as possible.
And it's a weird one. I don't want to get you in trouble by talking about the referee, but do you have to study the referees as well? Because we've had a few different.
Yeah.
From watching you in Europe over the last few years, they have different styles when.
Very much so.
And you have to study them as well.
Yeah, it's something which we've had to come accustomed to. You know, I mean, we talk a lot about the tolerance levels with the referees. What, you know, we don't know what. You know, we roughly have an idea of what in the Premier League what we're going to get. You know, when sometimes quite often we say we don't know what we're going to get, but you've got an idea normally on the tolerance levels on challenges, etc., etc. You're not sure at all, and you know things which we think, oh, that's just a yellow. You might find that the overseas referees are given red cards for that in their countries and would continue to do that. So it is every game is a little bit of a minefield with trying to think about the levels of the referees and what you might have to deal with, but it's also a challenge as well. And I think we said that I think after the semi-final at Frankfurt, I'd said I think hopefully we've all learnt a little bit about it, how we keep our emotions in place. But you know, in both games, I think we had players sent off just about in both games, didn't we? Certainly in the first game, Krezi went off, did he? Was it the first game? Second game as well? No, just the first game. Second game, yeah. So they were things which you have to try and learn, and in the main we done it mostly pretty well last season.
David, another question on Bačka Topola. I mean, you mentioned there that it's difficult sometimes to seek out footage of these sorts of teams. Typically in Serbia there are two large teams from the capital, Red Star Belgrade
and Partizan
Belgrade. Yeah, they came second last season, Bačka Topola, and I think they're top of the league on their last 5. It's a compliment to them really that you're even having to seek out footage of them, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also a compliment to them that you know they've got themselves in this situation. And look, we've watched they played Braga in the Champions League qualifier. We've watched both the games of that, which would give us a better idea maybe of the levels. Which I'm saying some of the games maybe internally might not give us the best idea of what we're up against, but certainly the games against Braga gave us an idea. But you're right, they've started the season really well, and they're to be in the position they've been in is very good.
I'll have to speak up a little bit for this second question.
Yous are all going to get soaked. Yeah.
Obviously, excellent start to the Premier League season for your team, which wasn't the case last season when you had the Europa Conference League. Two of the wins in particular, Chelsea and Brighton, it's fair to say that the opponents in those games were the teams that were dominating possession. That might be a bit different in this competition. So is there a case potentially that this competition isn't just a new tournament for you, it's also a new challenge as well, tactically?
Yeah, I think tactically we've done a pretty good job over 2 years. 2 years ago we got to semi-final and lost in the semi-final in this competition. Last year we were in the conference and won down from it, and tactically we've done very well. I've got to say we found some of the teams incredibly good, very good with the ball. The Danish teams were excellent, I have to say, and as we went along with the Dutch team, which was excellent in the semi-final, and then we end up with an Italian team in the final. So I think we've ended up finding ourselves coming through all those challenges pretty well over the last few years. So hopefully we'll gain a little bit of experience from it. But I think every time you enter this competition, it's a challenge. There's a lot of good things to see.
Particularly in the group stage, like potentially dominating possession more than you maybe would in the Premier League.
Yeah, we may do. I have to say, I think we've got some tough opponents in Freiburg and Olympiacos as well. But yeah, I'm hoping that there'll be parts of the game we'll get a lot more possession, and going forward in the Premier League, that's what we're hoping to do as well. But I would give it up if I was going to keep getting the results I was getting, that's for sure.
Okay, best of luck.
Thank you.
David, would it be fair to say you have a selection headache in defence, because you got Aguerd and Kazima performed a solid defensive partnership. Bono was great against Brighton.
Yeah.
Panos is fully fit now.
Yeah. No, we have. It's a competition, so you're right. We've got good competition. Angelo played really well at Brighton. And Karavisa have started. Naif came back and he's gone back into the side. So we've got competition. Dinos is just getting himself ready now and played for his national team last week. So good. everybody fit's a great thing, and gives us an opportunity to see what we can do.
Since winning the Conference League, has life changed for you much? Do you get recognised a lot more now?
I wouldn't say I get recognised anymore, but I've got to say there's an inner glow about me because I know that getting that victory means so much, and I'm pleased to have that, carry that with me now. I hope I can do it again. I really do. I want to try it again because of the magic feeling, the moment when it happened, the aftermath, what it meant to so many people in the East End of London and West Ham supporters in particular. So it was a great moment, and to be fortunate enough to win a European trophy is not something which happens every day.
Just reflecting on that night, how nice was it to do it in front of your dad and also your family as well?
Oh, magical, because you get a chance to. They've been to hundreds and hundreds of games where it's probably been I've been walking out a miserable bugger, not wanting to speak, not wanting to go out for a drink, not wanting to go for dinner, So they are the lows of football as well. But then you get the bit what you notice is the highs of a win and being able to happen to. My family was there. You would expect probably at a final anyway. To be able to have them there and part of it was magnificent, and really just to get the chance to get to a final and do that, because as I say, the job has an awful lot of lows through it and a lot of defeats in your career, and having to get up and go again after them and your family as well. So great that they've supported me so well.
Last question for me. I know you get asked all the time, but is there any update on Lingard's situation?
Not really, no. We're keeping him training and joined training today as well. So he's certainly getting much more like the Jesse, I think, in physical capabilities than he was, when we got him in 4 weeks ago. Hi there.
Hi. Lola Hernandez, Fox Sports Mexico. Edson Alvarez is okay, it's suspended, but what do you think about his performance the last game, and what's Edson Alvarez giving to the team? Thank you.
His performance has been really good. I think we probably were weaker when he came off. He came off after about 70 minutes. But I think him getting used to the intensity of the Premier League, what's required, and I think he's found it in all the games. He's played really well in the games. He's helped us on the ball. He's helped us defensively. I think the bigger thing though is him getting used to having to do that for the 90 minutes has been tough. But I have to say he also had a tough week last week. He was away with Mexico. He had 2 games for the national team. And he only got back Thursday afternoon about 3 o'clock. The time he got in, I think his flight was delayed coming back. So anybody who's been across to Mexico or the American side will tell you the jet lag coming back is really difficult for players to get ready and have ready. So the game being Saturday at 3 o'clock in some ways didn't help him, but he done a great job, and we certainly missed him when we went off. But he had already had a booking, and also he was cramping and fatiguing, so we always knew it was going to be difficult for him.
Okay. One at the back.
Hi.
James Ward-Prowse is always going to be a talisman for West Ham, but are you surprised just how well he's hit the ground running?
Was he always going to be?
Was he?
Yeah, I believe that he was going to be, and I always think that he will be. I think that he added things to Southampton which were terrific, whether it be scoring goals, whether it be making goals. So I hoped that if we could transfer that from there to us, then it would give us some options as well. Can play several different roles in midfield for us. I think he's just been a good steady signing at the moment. Getting his goals is helping, getting his assists, because there's a bit when you sign them, you're saying maybe will we get them here. Well, I always thought that we've been a side who've been over the years not bad at set pieces. So if we could get a really, really top deliverer, then it would maybe make us even more potent. And he's also somebody, if we can get free kicks round the edge of the box. We've not been getting many at the moment, but if we could get any, or he's added a couple of open play goals already, the one at Brighton and then the one at the weekend. So I have to say he's been a great sort of start to his West Ham career, and I hope we can continue the levels he's at.
And what do you think Mohamed Kudus can bring that's different to what you've already got at West Ham?
I think he brings a lot of what we've got, and it's adding to, I think, his ability on the ball, strength on the ball. He can score. He certainly can do that as well. So I'm hoping that we're bringing someone else who's going to make us play, improve on things which I would like to do. But I don't want it to take away from what we've got, what our strengths are as well. I want him to add to it, and I think he will do. I think he's got so much ability, and he might just take a little bit more time than others. But if you look, it took me that last year to get Lucas Paqueta, Nathan Agard, took them all a little bit of time to get to the levels we hoped and they could get to.